So everybody, welcome to the 10,000 Minute Experiment. This is your host, Tim Timmons, Tom Tommins. Timothy Howard Tommins.
THT, baby.
Amoy Dornis.
Hi.
Chris Cleveland. Of The Stars Go Dim. Chris and I got to actually play together for the first time.
For the first time.
Yeah, you guys went
Like
on
we
a
did
little road
two shows.
We full on.
Yeah.
We were there.
Yeah. And so I just...
there was a stage.
I
we did it.
I didn't want to ever use his name, so I just called him. So, hey, The Stars Go Dim. Could we do this? So everything is that. So, it's just funny. But you and I, Micah. So we've got Micah Tyler on.
Hey,
What's hey, everybody.
Gosh.
Micah, your wife's about to walk in right there.
Didn't get me this time. Didn't get me this time. No.
No? Okay.
So, anywho, we're kind of awesome because we have our names. We could just use our names. Tim Timmons, Micah Tyler, but you've got to go.
And I have the perfect stage name.
Yeah, Chris Cleveland.
Chris
Chris
Cleveland.
Cleveland.
Yeah.
Alliteration.
Sing a song, sell you a car. You got two options.
My God. Yeah,
Wait,
I could
what?
probably do both.
You can sing a song or sell a car. Those are his two
Either
options.
way, I'm wearing
Chris
a gold
Cleveland.
chain. You
We'll
know
get
what I
you
mean?
in a Volvo today.
Yeah.
At Chris Cleveland Dodge and
Emporium.
Chrysler.
Emporium.
Ready to go.
Yeah.
That's it.
Auto Emporium.
Yeah. Looks good. Yeah. Glad I'm happy
Reads
to be here.
well.
Long time listener, first time talker.
Yes.
I listen to you
Yeah.
guys.
You've
Oh,
said that
thank
before.
you.
I have. I actually text you guys every once in a while and be like, that was a bad one. No,
Yeah.
There's a couple
I've been
notes.
talking to you.
Kind of felt
Okay,
off.
cool.
You,
Yeah.
you guys have like a hidden sin or something? I don't know about? No.
I am so blown away how these things just keep getting better. So, guys, this is so funny. I mean, I've laughed an awful lot just as I'm editing this thing. But there's some really beautiful moments in here, too. I think there's stuff in here that would help us rethink where we spend our energy and what rest looks like, what mercy looks like. Ooh, it's really good. So I'm excited for you to hear this conversation with Micah Tyler. Speaking of Micah Tyler, he is an amazing artist, songwriter, singer. Go see him live. He is so great. Also, thanks you guys for jumping in financially. Would you please consider giving to 10,000 Minutes? Just go to 10,000minutes.com, and in the upper right-hand corner it says donate. This is completely funded by you, so would you please do that? If this has been helpful for you, and I think it's been so good for so many of you, and I love getting your emails and replies, so keep sending those too. So thanks, you guys. And remember, like, subscribe, and comment on this. It would be really helpful for us. Okay, and tell your friends about it. Okay, shut up, Tim. Here we go. So I will have already said something special about you.
Oh, I'm touched
On
by
here.
the thought of it.
Yeah,
The energy
just
has
that you're
shifted.
special.
That's what they tell me.
So you saw Michael Jordan the other day. Is that correct?
No, I saw what we believe to be Michael
B. Jordan?
No, Michael V. Jordan.
Ooh.
So here's it. So I played the other day with little band Mercy Me.
Yeah,
at,
little outfit.
Nobody's
Little
ever heard
Known,
of them.
just giving them a chance to close for me.
Yep.
And we played at the Charlotte Hornets Arena over in Charlotte. I get off the bus and it's really funny because
Charlotte Bobcats.
No, they're the Hornets.
They're the Hornets
Oh
again?
yeah, they went back to the Hornets.
Oh, my gosh. Where have I been?
About
Duh.
4 years. That's all right though.
Well,
Listen, you know. So, but Michael Jordan is a part owner there, which it's just really funny because I didn't put two and two together that Michael Jordan could be in the building. And then I get off the bus, and all of a sudden, everyone on the crew has become a super sleuth. They're like, "Hey, do you see that car over there? It's black and red. Got a Palm Beach license plate on it. You know who likes black and red?" And lives in Palm Beach, and also is a owner of one of the owners of the Charlotte Hornets, Michael Jordan. So then, like,
And
people
what was that license plate number?
I cannot divulge that on this thing. But I'll text you a picture. But all of a sudden, people like it's really because then everyone just starts Googling things, and then like if anyone has I got a cousin who used to work at a Foot Locker, I'll call him and see if we could,
real.
if he's got a contact, we can get a hold of Mike and have him come out.
Yeah, totally.
And so, but it's just because everyone's just like using as many clues, like, oh my gosh, but right next to it was a Range Rover that actually came from a Michael Jordan dealership. It had like the Michael Jordan dealership thing right there. And I
He
think
has
it's
his own dealership?
with Chris Cleveland
Because
Chrysler.
why wouldn't he have that?
This is too
Yeah.
good.
It makes a lot
So,
of
but
sense.
we did not get a chance to see him. I had to like play a dumb concert and stuff, and so I didn't have time to just hang out in the parking lot.
Yeah,
but
you
you
and
know
Mike.
what? But I was in the same building.
It's
And
so
I'll
true.
catch him. I'll catch him next time.
sometime
out there.
Catch
One of the
Mike.
other great things about Mr. Micah Tyler. So Micah and I went to
We had a little road trip.
we had a little road trip. We went to
We went on a road trip though.
we did go on a road trip.
We spent a considerable amount in a car, and I will safely say I have it is the hardest
Yeah.
I've laughed
Yep.
in at least the last 5 years. Like
I would completely
you had
agree.
to pull over a couple of times because you were crying. 'Cause it was just like, and I couldn't help you. We could not get ourselves together. So
So that's that. And then another amazing gift that the world needs to hear right now and receive this
Okay.
from Micah Tyler. So my boys are really into shoes. Like really into shoes. They love the shoes. And so Micah and I were on a cruise together. We've spent a lot of interesting time together. So it was just us two.
we're just knocking out different modes
It was
of
like
transportation.
a
You and me are on a
92
train if this is
Bayliner.
over with a thing. You and I are going to hop on a box car with a stick with a handkerchief with stuff in it after this. Yeah.
So we were on a cruise that was after the boxcar, the train. And Micah starts leaning in about this, how he gets his shoes for like $7. I mean, it looks like he's got these Yeezys.
Like from China?
So if you go to wish.com, if Wish is listening right now, I'd love a sponsorship.
Yeah.
No, you go to Wish and you type in the shoes that you like and they give you
the knockoff brands.
The knockoff version of it. But so here's the thing. I don't buy them because I want people to be impressed with my shoes. I buy them because they're hilarious. It's like those, remember like Ranger Rick, the little magazine, where it's like one of these pictures has like 5 differences from this picture.
Yes.
So you get the shoes in and then you go, okay, let's see. So
like KB's story.
So speaking of Michael Jordan, I probably should not run into him because I bought a pair of $12 Jordan.
No.
But they came in, and so I'm looking
Michael
at it.
Jordan's.
Yeah.
Jordan's a soft J.
It's way better. So I get there and I look at, I'm going like, all right, let me see if I can spot the differences. So I notice there's an extra piece of fabric on the Nike check. That's number one. There's an extra triangle on there. So there's a barb coming off of the
Yeah,
Nike
you said
check.
it looks like a hook.
It looked like a hook. Yeah, like a fishing hook. And then I look at the tongue, and instead of saying Nike, it just says Nikki. the I is gone. It just says NKE on there, and then it just says international. And then my favorite is on the side of every Jordan, there's a little banner over a basketball that says Air Jordan, and mine just says basketball.
Oh, let's go. Let's go. You got the
But you
prototype.
put them next to a pair of Jordans, you have no idea.
Yeah.
So like I was on a tour. I did a weekend
If you're
tour
on a
with
brisk
KD.
walk, nobody can tell
Yeah.
you.
No, you running right by.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
right. Oh, unless they just come unraveled. I don't even know if I don't know if they're good for actual modes of exercise. But I was on a tour with KB, and like he's a big shoe, he's a sneakerhead, and so we're talking on the bus, and he's about to get off and stuff. And I was like, all right, man, I'll see you later. And I said, oh, I forgot. I said, did you like my Jordans? He goes, don't think I didn't notice. He said, how'd you get that color? I said, oh, that's because these are basketball. And so I showed him. So he threw it on his Instagram and stuff, which is really funny. But yeah, it was.
Oh, that's too good.
I only get them because I just love being able to tell people that these are not the real thing.
Yeah.
And I get to wear these jank shoes around. So
I like it. Well, are they comfy at least?
no,
I was going to say.
As you said, they absorb water. Is that what you said?
yeah, they feel like I'm wearing a couple of ShamWows around. Like they just like soak up all the water, and my feet get to be like 10 pounds apiece. And so you reap what you sow. And I sowed $7 into
Yes.
a pair
Oh,
of basketballs.
Is there basketballs? Is there tax on top of that, or shipping?
They're shipping. Yeah, you got to watch out because sometimes they'll be like $12 for these shoes, and the shipping
Right
is
now,
like
it's gotta,
80.
Right. Take a while to get here too.
That's true.
Well, that's what you said. You said it
I
takes
kinda-
a long time, but it becomes like a Christmas gift because it comes 6 months later.
You forgot that you bought it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll buy them, and all of a
exactly
sudden, like, and then, oh my gosh, my Jordans are in. Jordans. So yeah, that's
My basketballs.
Hortons.
the Jordans. That's it.
Oh, great.
Okay. Well, I think I think
That's it.
we're done.
Well, that's
Oh
it,
my
right?
God.
Yeah,
Well,
wish.com.
wrap it.
That's it. Yeah.
Micah,
Hey.
one more story. We were skydiving,
Yeah.
and I remember you jumping first,
Right.
and I had to save your life.
That's true. That is actually true.
Okay, speaking
And,
of,
and I had a parachute and everything. I was just lazy.
yeah,
I was kind of like,
Like,
you know what?
I'm not
I'm
gonna
not going to
pull
pull
it.
this thing.
Yeah.
Tim's got me.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was in my mind right there. I was trying to think of a parachute brand and trying to like go knock off, but I couldn't think of a parachute brand.
You know.
Like REI would be like RTI.
IR.
Well,
Great.
this has been smooth sailing, everybody. Mikey, you have a new record out.
You know,
That's
here's the
not
deal.
true.
I think anything you release from the pandemic
different?
is eternally new.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like I
That's
released.
right.
So I released a record called New Today, April of 2020.
Yeah. Right.
And so
Right.
I right into the pandemic, which I describe as throwing confetti in the dark.
Mm.
Because like I was celebrating,
Yeah,
but I
it's
was
a
like, why
party.
can't
Yeah,
anyone
that's
see
right.
this?
That's right.
It's just like,
And
you
it
know,
feels like such a long time ago.
it feels like
now.
a long time ago. But it's really cool because now we're getting to like tour the record.
Actually
it's been
play
a
the
year and a half
songs.
later.
Oh my God.
And it's in a lot. It's there's a lot of songs that we wrote with dreams of the way that they would minister to people and that kind of thing. And I didn't get to see a lot of that because we're just kind of like, at the house waiting around and stuff like that. But then now that we're getting to go and travel, we're going like, oh my gosh, the things that we had dreams for these songs actually have, they've come to life. Like it is, I wasn't, it wasn't when we were in the room going like, I think this is special. I think this would speak to someone's this, or it would kind of meet someone in this place. And we're hearing those stories now at the merch table. It's like, oh, praise God. It's like, these are still usable, workable things. We just had to wait a little while to let them marinate a little longer, I guess.
But I just think it's appropriate that it's called New Today.
And it is old from a year and a half ago. Yeah.
It just seems like that was wise. There was some kind of foresight.
It will always be new
today.
It's
New
just
today.
like, golly, I didn't even.
And then your single right now is Walking Free. And I was just thinking, do you do some walking in your basketballs?
Yeah, what shoes did you wear in that video?
Yeah.
Those were actually some Adidases that I got off of Amazon. A legitimate
Shadidas.
They're called Shadidas.
Speaking in tongues. Gosh, I got some.
I just want to go deeper on like almost everything, but I'm like, this doesn't need a bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
what I'm seeing right now is there's a bug on top of that box, on top of that speaker. It's one of those
like
Satan
stink
bugs. Yeah.
So that bug was actually on that sound panel the whole time we were riding.
Oh.
And I was just I was watching. I kept an eye on it, so it's still at least you can see it.
We are continuing our series
Yeah.
on practicing the presence of God. And it's been fascinating to hear all the different ways that people have experienced that, when it's difficult, when they've successfully been able to walk in this awareness of the presence of God.
Yeah.
How has that been for you in these past few years? Like, what have you noticed, even being off the road? Is there something you've noticed about practicing the presence of God, that it's been harder, that it's been easier?
Yeah. I mean, I it's the pandemic surprised us the same way it surprised everybody else. And we had, we were working hard and God was blessing, and we had a lot of very busy going and doing things. And then we actually just got through building a house, and we went through probably the craziest season, because I did like 60 shows with Mercy Me and Crowder back in 2019, on top of making the record, on top of building a house, on top of selling our old house, on top, like all these things kind of like mounted up on each other. So we went from this whole big, giant, crazy, just wild year. And someone had told me like a couple of years before, I kept getting these Twitter messages. A big thing was like, what is your word for the year? And I got a song called named Different. And I had people reaching out.
You have a song.
Same song.
It sounded like you have a son named Different.
I do have we've changed it.
Isn't that sweet?
Yeah, it's a little different. Just going off to school.
Noah,
It's great.
your name
You're different now.
is, yeah.
So what was funny was, so for King of Country used to do this thing where they had these necklaces made, and they said priceless on there, and they'd walk out in the aisle and they would look at a little girl and they'd say, come here, I just want you to know you are priceless, and hand the necklace.
and then sell 10,000 necklaces.
All the necklaces. But what was funny was that someone told me, they said, have you ever thought about doing something like that? I said,
Different.
it's not going to come across the same way if I walk in like, hey, little girl, you're different.
So good. I'd be like, dang it, I knew it. I knew
There's
it, man.
I wouldn't know what to do with that if I just called someone like, you're different. So anyway.
Oh my gosh, that's such a good bit. You're going out in the audience, you're looking at a kid, you're different.
No, not me. They just don't want to be different. So people kept messaging me on Twitter and saying stuff like, hey, my word for this year is different. And so I was kind of like, oh, that's kind of, but I didn't do that. I didn't think, like, I just wasn't anything that I thought was like, that's cool for them to do. I just don't really have any kind of leading on it.
Basketball.
That's the
Whatever.
word.
So 2020 comes around, and it is the weirdest thing. I had this, for all of December, I got to be home for a little while. We're about to get back on the road and run. I was about to be releasing the record and getting in the house, and all the things are happening. And all of a sudden, the word rest just was so present on my heart, and just, I couldn't get it out of my mind. And I felt like the Lord wanted to teach me how to rest. And I remember like driving in my car on my way to get on an airplane, on my way to get to a tour bus, on my way to run around and do all the things that I'm going to do. And I just told the Lord, I was like, I guess you're going to have to teach me how to take a nap. Like, I don't know how to, I don't have time to rest. Like, I guess you're going to, like, maybe I'll just get really rich sleep at night or whatever. And I remember going, like, doing radio interviews in January and then being like, hey, we're doing a thing this year. We're picking a word. You ever thought about picking a word before? And in these interviews, I keep going like, rest is what I'm supposed to be doing right now. So when the whole world shut down, I realized how bad I am at that.
Yeah.
It's not about getting a good night's sleep on a good mattress or be it whatever. I have a really hard time, and I'm Enneagram 2, and so I'm constantly wanting to do something for someone. And I find my worth in what I'm able to go and do. So just being is a really hard thing for me. So one thing that I've learned with the presence of God is that it is not about what I'm able to do in his presence. It's what I'm able to accept that he is making me into, or that he's made me into already, or the things that I've done, or the things that I will do. That like this present breath that I have right here, I can practice the presence of knowing that God is with me, and that he's not disappointed if I'm not, I'm not going to be able to earn something more from him. Just literally being still and knowing that he's God is what I'm called to do. And I'm really good at knowing that he's God, but I'm really bad at being still. So it's something I'm trying to be better at now. And I had an entire pandemic to learn how to do that. And so even like right now on the road, like I'm trying to carve out moments to be able to be still, and like that's why I like, you know, just finding myself in a hotel room at night and just being able to just like and just take the breath and not have to get stressed out about the next day, or not have to worry about what happened yesterday, or think about what's coming up in the next couple of weeks or months, but just like be present in that moment. And so that's been something that God's been, I think it took a pandemic for me to be able to kind of learn how to practice that. But now I'm trying to take it into another busy season and asking for God to help me to find the importance of just knowing that being still and knowing that he's God is literally scripturally what we're called to be, just as much as going out and making disciples.
So rest, if we were rethinking rest, let's just say, you've got actual rest where it's like taking a break, kind of the stuff that you're talking about right now.
Right.
But you were just talking about the idea of you can even find rest in not earning and in knowing the reality of who you are no matter what, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'm not having to peddle my good traits to be able to earn the affection of God. It's not like I'm having to be like, okay, you gave me a gift to sing, so I'm going to sing 300 shows this year. You gave me the gift of communicating with people, so I'm just going to go out and speak all the time. It's not that. And what I learned was that, man, if I needed a stage to find worth, I didn't have the opportunity for over a year. But what I had is I had a family. I had a wife and 3 kids that I was able to be faithful to, because somebody told me a long time ago that we will never stand before the Lord and him say, well done, thy good and successful servant. It is faithful. And we can only be faithful to what's in front of us. Like right here, right? I am faithful. I have the opportunity right now to be faithful to this. I cannot be faithful to the tour show that's tomorrow night. I cannot be faithful to, like, my marriage. I was telling you this earlier. Like, I've been married for over 17 years now. Because I made a faithful commitment 17 and a half years ago does not make me faithful today. I have to choose to be faithful today. So for us, whenever God calls us to step out into unsure waters, when God tells us to be still and know, when God calls us to go out and make disciples, our job is not to try to achieve some sort of success in these places, but it is literally just to be faithful, like love those people, practice the fruit of the Spirit, be able to walk and trust that God is there with you, and not have to try to work something up or earn something up or juggle enough things to make it seem like you've got everything figured out. It's like just trusting him enough to be faithful is what our calling is as servants of Jesus.
Okay. So that is you in your sobriety, right? When you're sober, when you're aware of the truth, let's say, of who you are, your identity, it's like, okay, it's not in my show, it's not in this stuff. When we're able to be in that place, that's beautiful. So where do you go when you are drunk, if you will, on what? Like, what do you get drunk on that pulls you away from that reality of rest?
Oh, I mean, it's
what pulls you out of rest?
It is me trying to prove that I am worthy of affection. It's not trusting that it has already been, like that Jesus has offered his affection to me freely, not because of what I've done, not because of what I will do, but because of who he is and his goodness and kindness. When I stop trusting the goodness and kindness of God, I try to earn the favor and the affection and the love the way that I would, someone at a show. Like I'm trying to perform well enough so that they will love the things that I'm doing. And I can turn that into trying to go out there and live show it up and try to, I'll go out and sign before it starts, and I'll go out in the parking lot and shake hands with people, and then I'll go up there into the merch table at intermission, and after it's over with, they'll love me if I can do all these things.
Yeah.
And Chris and I were kind of we went on a tour about 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Chris can tell, like, I was out there in the lobby every time they would let me to be able to go and like sign a CD. I was running my own merch table. I was pulling all the things. I would get up. I'll be the first one up in the morning and the last one to bed at night, because I'm like hustling to make ends meet, to be able to try to like actually put together a not only a living for my family, but trying to build a career and those kind of things. And in the most toxic of places for me, it is about how much hustle I can muster to be able to gain the affections and the attentions of the people around me, as opposed to being still and knowing that God is kind enough to open a door that I'm supposed to run to, that I can be patient and wait on the Lord, as opposed to trying to get ahead of him and make it work so that he can kind of push his plan along a little faster. So that's, I would say, in the unhealthiest moments for me is when I'm just trying to earn God's attention, affection, love, and then the same thing with the people around me, just trying to try to earn that thing by serving or trying to help or trying to, whatever that is.
Yeah, I was just thinking of the idea that we get good at what we practice, and for you to practice rest is practicing sobriety, really.
Yeah.
So what are the other things that you practice? So you just mentioned like earning. Like, where are those moments? You're practicing earning love. You're practicing.
Well, I think that the healthy spot is for me to practice.
Yeah, I'm talking unhealthy.
Unhealthy.
Yeah.
Oh, if I'm trying to, it's like even with my wife, it's like, I'll take the kids to school. Well, then I'll clean the house. No, don't get up. I'll do that. Let me take care of that. And then she finally has to tell me, like, you realize you leave for 4 days at a time, and I don't just lay here.
Yeah.
Like I'm actually doing these things. So it makes her feel like that I almost don't trust her to be able to take care of herself.
Oh, gosh.
Right.
And so it's like I push all those things. And like with my kids, it's the same thing of being like being a dad to a toddler and never letting them walk because you're so worried about them hurting themselves.
Yeah.
And that they're never going to learn how to walk, or they're never going to learn how to get up when they fall and hurt themselves. It's like trying to defend your kids. I was telling you about the story earlier that it impacted me 15 years ago. It was a story about these parents who had a little girl, and she was unable to feel pain. She had no pain sensors in her body. And this dad was like, you would think that it's every parent's dream to hide their kids from any kind of hurt. He said, but it's going to kill my daughter because she doesn't know pain. So like one day the mom is cooking dinner and she smells something burning. She's looking over pots and pans. She don't know what it is. She looks over and the little girl has her hand resting on the burner up there. And it's just her hand's on fire. And she's going, oh my gosh. So she like grabs her. They have to take her to the hospital and the little girl's just sitting there. Like they don't have to put her asleep for surgeries because it's the same thing. And he says she has no idea when something's hurting her. So she doesn't know how to get help. And so for me, I can completely try to cover my children and cover my wife and help them so much because I don't want them to have to experience any kind of inconvenience. And I want them to just feel love for me, and I want them to give love back to me. Yeah. But if I'm being honest, if I'm really trying to really do what's best for everyone, it's like we all have to learn how to, take care of ourselves. If I shelter my kids so much that one day they're grown-ups and they have no idea how to handle the world, it's going to eat them alive. So we're trying to figure out, as parents, how to do that, how as a husband and wife we're supposed to do that thing. And then just with people around, I don't want to overextend myself to where, because if I overextend myself so much too, I'm going to let somebody down at some point. And I don't want to have them trusting me so much that when I let them down, it really hurts a lot more because it feels like, oh, I thought you were going to be there for all the things. So I try to be careful to the things I commit myself to because I want to be able to be of integrity and do the things I tell them I'm going to do, but also know my limitations and be able to pull back in those places too.
But that also has a double-edged sword for you because you also, like we were just talking about, I'm always offering you mints. Come stay at my house, but you're also like,
yeah, no, I don't want to inconvenience anyone.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You've offered me to stay over here, and like when you said it a minute ago, I didn't even want to tell you, like, no, I'm at a hotel literally 4 minutes from here because there's this shame because I'm going like, I don't want you to feel like that. I don't want you to feel like I don't appreciate you offering me to come stay, but also, so like you have no idea how relieved I was when you said, yeah, you come stay here anytime. We had people that were staying here the last couple of days. I was going, oh, praise God that I didn't ask, because then you'd have to tell me that I couldn't. It would make you feel bad.
That's a lot of
and
energy.
I was so grateful. The best way that I can describe being an Enneagram 2 or kind of I am rooting for a waiter at a restaurant. Okay. because I want them to do well.
Right.
I don't want anyone at the table to be disappointed in them. I want us to be able to tip them and feel good about it. Like, I'm cheering that person doesn't put me in a situation where I have to be inconvenienced, because it's going to inconvenience them for me to be upset
Are
about
you,
something.
they're not writing down the order, but you're like taking notes on your phone.
just
Just
like-
walking back. Hey, bud, I noticed that you
pal,
didn't write this down. I just want to make sure you got it right.
I don't know if you heard all the appetizers we were mentioning, but just take this one, just slide it across.
That's too good.
But that's how I like. I'm trying to guard someone from having to, like, okay, full transparency.
Come on.
I didn't go to the Dove Awards last night, and this is dumb. I would have enjoyed going. It'd been fine to go. It's not like it's my favorite thing I look forward to in the whole wide world, but I like seeing people and hanging out and stuff. But I wasn't nominated for anything. Now, the reason I didn't go is not because I'm not nominated. It's because if I go, someone's going to say, hey, what are you nominated for? And I'm going to say nothing. And then they're going to go, oh, I'm so sorry. And I'm going to be like, no, it's totally fine. But like, that's my full on health on display.
Yeah.
That's me being so scared to inconvenience someone, to put them in a situation where they could feel like they're hurting my feelings, even though I'll be fine, because I'm going to get over it fast.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't
I'm
go
really-
because I wasn't nominated. So
I should have called you.
Totally. We would have had our own Dove party.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Good.
So what I'm thank you.
Yeah.
What I'm seeing in that is it's a lot of work. Like, each of us have our things
Mhm.
Right.
that we do, just like what you just shared, like all the energy that you put into even just all the energy that
That's
just
like
went
6
into,
levels deep. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
right?
Yeah.
Even to just not staying here in some way or
Yeah.
whatever it might be.
But do you know how prideful that is? That's the arrogant part of me, is like, I'm so prideful that I'm worried that I'm going to make someone feel disappointed, even though you may have been like, oh no, people come stand here already, and I would have been like, oh, I'm so sorry for even asking. No, it's okay, and then it's over.
Yeah.
But I don't want to put myself in a situation to feel bad, so I just don't put myself in the situation. And it's pride. It's me going like, I don't want to be hurt, or I don't want to have the opportunity to be hurt, or I don't want to make you feel anything. So it's me putting myself of some sort of level of importance that could have just been as easy as like, oh, you can't do this weekend because we got people staying. I'd be like, oh, okay, and then it's over. But I think pride is a big part for me that I don't want to disappoint somebody. I want to upset someone. I just want to help them. I want to be the man. I want
Right.
to, if you need something, you can call me. Good old Micah will show up and help you move that couch. I will be there to pray for you. If you need an encouraging word, I'm ready to give it. I don't have bad days. I'm good days all the time, and I'm ready to spread some sunshine your way.
Yeah.
But that's where pride goes like, I can't uphold that. That's not real life.
Classic Timmons question. Who are you in that moment if you let somebody down?
Crushed.
Yeah.
It just, I'll think about it. There's things that I said in 7th grade
Oh, totally.
yeah.
I'll wake up in the middle of the night and go,
Yes.
oh my gosh, I should not have told that girl I couldn't dance with her. It's like that.
Too good.
I'm like
Too good.
constantly like, and again, it's just project, because there's no way people are still thinking about certain things that I have just, I will beat myself up about the way that I ordered a hamburger when I was 20 years old. And I'm going like, this so, like, it's just so dumb, but it's just, that's just at my worst in that moment. It is this weird thing of like, I both want the universe to be the most important thing, but also somehow I make myself the main character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to affect so many things around me, but also it's with this heart of like going, no, but I want everyone else to have, like, it's just this really weird.
Let me
gets
win the lottery,
exhausting.
because I would give all the money to all the right
Yeah.
places.
I mean,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
It's exactly. But at the same time, that's where rest has been a big thing for me, because I'm going like, I can just rest in the fact that I can't please everybody. I can't be everybody's Superman. I can't even do that for my own family. I'm going to forget the garbage at some point. I'm going to let my wife down. And I've got to learn how to communicate well with her that I'm sorry, and work hard on trying to remember commitments that I've made. But also, if I make too many commitments, I can't keep them all. So how do I balance those things out and rest in the things that I can control, rest in the things I can't control,
Yeah.
and then just try to be who God's called me to be, and that's faithful to what He's put in front of me
Today.
I think also that sometimes, because it's, you've mentioned pride.
Yeah.
And I bet that is a piece of it. But sometimes it can be dangerous where we come to a place where we're almost shaming ourselves that there's no rest in like, I'm trying to rest for others, so I'm
Right.
functional.
Right.
And if we want to rethink rest, it's really freedom. It's not a habit of like pausing.
Yeah.
it's an acknowledging that nothing needs to be done or completed. And so it's not that they will benefit, it's that you will benefit and your spirit will benefit. So I'm just interested to almost know a little deeper of what freedom do you find when you're resting in the presence of God that has nothing to do with anybody around you, but with just you alone. And do you feel comfortable only thinking about yourself and God when you're resting?
Very, very uncomfortable to think about, even like thinking of how it's important for me to rest. Like that's a hard one. Prioritizing myself is very hard for me. And I'm a guy who will just get to the point where it's like, I just can't go anymore. I'm just burnt out. I just can't keep going. You know, it's those moments where like, if I get a text, okay, words of affirmation is also love language for me. So you are a two who needs people to tell you that you did a good job. You'll do whatever it takes to get somebody to say good job. So whenever you don't do something and someone shows affection towards you, it's like, oh my gosh, I didn't even have to, I didn't have to earn that. So when I have this presence of the Lord that just gives me this love and peace and joy, and like when the fruit of the Spirit is just alive in my life, and it's not because there's a song on the radio, or it's not because I helped, take somebody's, trash out, or whatever, like whatever that is. And just the Lord is just like, because I love you, you are loved. That is one of the most, it is just humbling, and it is the most secure, and it is the most, it is the kindness. It's the kindest thing God can do is literally just love us because he is so loving. Not for God so loved the world, not because we did good enough things to deserve it. It's just that he just loved the world, so he gave his son, that we could be forgiven and we could know who he is. And that is just like, when I rest in that, oh my gosh, then it makes me have this passion to be able to go and do the right things. Like I can go out and love people well with the right heart, because God's given me the heart to go out and do it with. So it's this balancing thing. But when it's all clicking in the right way, and I'm able to prioritize the Lord first, and to know that like my rest is important, my affection towards my family is important, but at the end of the day, like I can just rest in the fact that they love me, the Lord loves me, people around me love me that need to love me, and that I'm a loved person. That is such a security for me.
Gosh, even in that moment while we were doing this podcast, I remember thinking to myself, how much energy do we spend worrying about other things, other people, what other people think, when all along what the truth is that we are loved, accepted, forgiven, empowered, known, pursued, cared for, made strong in our weakness, built for vulnerability and doing life with other people in the name and the power and with the authority of Jesus. What would it look like for you just today if you could actually live as though these things were true about you? What would rest look like today?
In 2017, Hurricane Harvey hit our little house that we had, and we damaged 4 of the rooms in the home. And then a few weeks later, my brother was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer. And I remember pleading with God, if you'll tell me what to do, I just need mercy. Like I was begging, can you just show mercy? I'll do whatever it takes. And it wasn't until someone pointed me back to Lamentations 3:22 and 23 that his mercies are made new every morning because he's faithful. And it's not, I didn't rise the sun. I didn't push it up there. I didn't earn new mercy. It just came. It's just here. It's about me realizing it's here and is given to me, and me accepting it.
Yeah.
That's it. It's literally not me like trying to say, okay, God, you got this mercy right there, and if I can just win the race, then I'll be able to, I can make my way to the podium to grab the mercy. It's like, if I'm laying flat on my face, mercy still showed up that morning.
Yeah.
If I am as healthy as I can possibly be, mercy showed up that morning.
Yeah.
If I am running in the complete opposite direction, mercy is still showing up in the morning, and it's new. It's not the same mercy from yesterday that I couldn't use. It's the new mercy for me.
Yeah.
That's where we find rest.
Right.
Yes.
That I don't have to wake up and find it. Joy comes in the morning. There's so many scriptures that kind of go along with, we could have the righteousness of God. It's not my righteousness and it's not my joy. I don't have any. I've got none to offer, but I desperately need and is freely given to me the mercy and joy and grace and love and forgiveness and hope and faithfulness of God. And I just have to just rest and be.
So how do you practice that? How do you, like what you just said, that whole thing? Because that's great theology. We could all go, yep, I believe it
Right.
to my core, which is actually not true because we
Right.
don't. That's why
That's
we
why we keep doing it.
So
Yeah.
if belief is being found living as though something is true, part of it's what do we actually believe
Yeah.
to be true?
Sabbath is a big deal, and we try to practice that. Like right now, our Sabbath was Sunday when I was during the pandemic. That was the day. It's like we go to church, we spend time with our small group, but it's like, hey, all your homework's done before this day. We're going to try to. I mean, it's not like a super, rigid kind of thing, but it's like, no, we're going to really take time to like be a family, sit at the table, hang out together, just be still. Now our Sabbath is Wednesday because of
Right.
touring. So like I fly in on Monday and I leave a lot of times on Wednesday nights or Thursday morning, but like Wednesday, it's like, we're not doing anything. We'll go drop the kids off at school. We'll spend kind of like Tuesday nights is our time as a family. We'll go play a game and we'll sit together. I've become the TikTok hunter gatherer for our family.
Gosh, I don't know what that means,
We don't
but
trust.
I
we don't trust our kids to have TikTok. It's just it's something we don't want them to get into and everything. So my job is to go and find funny videos or whatever videos for our family. I hunter and gather. It's my job as the man of the house to go out and find these. And I like them all, and then we sit together as a family. And like 10 minutes before bed, we just plow through a bunch of TikToks and just laugh together. It's like our little fun little ritual. And so we'll play a game, we'll watch TikToks, we'll brush teeth, we'll pray together, and then they'll go to bed. And the next morning we'll get up, take them to school, and then me and my wife just like watch a Netflix show and just be, because it's not like I have to like, let me paint something for you. Let me do whatever.
Right.
So we're trying to practice that, because the last thing I want to do is get burnt out and still, because the thing is, what happens if I don't get through painting? Then I just leave her stuff that she's got to finish up. And that's not helpful. But if I could just be loving towards her and know that I'm loved in that day just with her, then that is worth it. And I'm trying to practice the same thing with God. I'm trying to spend a little extra time in my bunk when I'm on a bus, just laying there and asking God to just bless the day and let me be aware of his presence and let me not be afraid to just be still and know that he's God. And it's like asking him. Like I wrote a song 7 years ago. I was walking into a writer's conference for the first time, and I was so nervous because everybody there was like professionals in my mind. And I'm going like, I'm just this amateur, whatever. They're going to figure me out. I'm not supposed to be here. I kind of got thrown at the last minute by a buddy. And so it's the first time I ever went to Nashville.
Yeah, Chris and I were there. I think we remember looking at you going, that guy.
Oh, who's this
Yeah,
guy?
yeah.
What a schmuck. Do you see his shoes?
Yeah. Michael Schmorden.
Football.
That's my cleats.
Oh my gosh, please. That never
And
was
so-
trending.
But I remember, I tried my hardest to force the Lord to bless my rest. I asked,
Yeah.
I was like, I'm going to go get a cabin. I got a friend who offered me a cabin one time. So I was like, I'm going to go stay in this cabin and I'm going to write the best songs because I'm going to give the Lord my time. I'm going to say goodbye to my family. There's no cell service. I'm just going to be locked up in this cabin. And it's like, I'm just going to just be walking around with a bunch of doves on my shoulder the whole time because the glory of the Lord will shine upon me. So I go in there and I remember sitting that first night, nothing. I'll read scripture and I'm reading it angstily. I'm like, okay, I can turn this. Grace rhymes with faith. I could do that. Like,
Let's
I'm
go.
just like, love and
let's
above,
go.
love and above. And I'm just, for God to love. And I'm just like
Father.
I'm just everything. I'm just singing scripture. I was in Leviticus. I was doing whatever I could.
Right.
It's desperate.
I love Leviticus, actually.
Stayed up till like 4 a.m, just with a guitar in my lap, laptop in front of me, Bible open, so mad. And I remember just like feeling, but then it was almost like I was scared to tell God how mad I was, even though it's like, it's like the Lord knows our heart, whatever. So 6 o'clock, and I was like, I'll wake up and I'll see a sunrise and I'll be inspired. I'm trying to cultivate
I will
this
see
moment.
this.
Right.
My alarm went off at 6, woke up, got dressed, went inside the porch, just looked out, and I saw that stupid sunrise. And I was like, this is ridiculous. And I looked around, saw a lake, and I just felt this like feeling I should go sit by the lake. And I remember, that's when I said out loud, I was like, hey, pal, I'll go sit by your stupid lake. And I got up. No, I didn't have anything with me. Didn't have a guitar, no Bible, whatever. And I sat by the lake and I just sat there and I said, you're going to embarrass me. You open up an opportunity for me to go and sit in this writer's thing, and they're going to ask me to sing something that I wrote, and I'm going to look stupid, and it's your fault. And I was just very honest with the Lord. And I said, here's the deal. I know what Scripture says, and I know that you told me to be still and know that you're God. I know that you're God. You're going to have to teach me how to be still. And right then, I remember pulling out my phone, and I just sang this word for word. I said, teach me to be still. Teach me to lay down. I give up all my strength and lay my armor on the ground. Show me how to rest on the altar of your will. I know that you are God, but teach me to be still. Teach me to be still. You hear the lake in the background. That's the only song I had the whole time. And I have sung that song for 8 years now. I never wrote anything else to it. It's just this sacred little prayer. And I've sung it at churches, and I've had pastors who have grabbed me in the lobby and going, I have to have that song. So I had to go record a version of it so I could send it. And I have pastors to this day, 5 years later, who message me and just go, this is the morning prayer for me. I'm about to go be busy, but I need to be still while I'm busy. And I was like, oh, okay. Someone else understands how I feel about these things. And so it is practicing this. You can be still while you're doing things is what I'm learning how to do too. Because I don't have the luxury of I don't want to say the luxury of another pandemic. I don't want to make it sound like that. But I don't have the luxury to take off.
You gotta go back to work.
I got to go back to work.
Yeah.
I got to hop on a tour bus. I got to be gone 5 days a week. I'll be gone 13 days from my family for this whole run that I'm on right now. And that doesn't mean that just because I've got a job to go do, the Lord's like, well, you don't have to be still.
Right.
No, I have to learn how to be still while I'm moving.
Yeah.
Find rest in the midst of.
Because it's
And I'm still learning that.
Yeah. It's truly your identity that's like seeking rest. Right? Like we had Curtis Zachary, CZ come through and talk about soul rest. Like it's truly not it starts off like any kind of self-care. You start off with like a face mask or like a nap, and you're like slowly doing the physical, and it gets to the emotional and the spiritual kind of rest. And that's when you realize like, oh, it's my identity that's constantly trying to rebuild who I am every day so it doesn't like fall apart, or whatever it is. And so there's a beauty in like getting to the core of rest for you to almost on the other side of be still and know God, but be still and know who you are with God.
Right.
That's really the rest I think your soul is seeking. Like just who am I now without the product of my time here with you, you know?
And at the end of the day, we're just children of God. Some of us just have there's different skill sets that I have, but the Lord doesn't love me any different because my skill sets are different than someone else's. Like we're just loved because we're His. And if I can just sit and be and know that, but like literally, you guys are asking me questions, and I am telling myself like, oh, you got to be a good guest here. You got to answer well. Like really,
I
I'm
get
like,
that.
and like before I started, like when you like set the microphones in front of us, it's like, okay, Lord, help me be funny. I want to. If I can just say something interesting, if something profound comes to me, I would love to say that thing.
Yeah.
But just sitting here talking, even I'm having to tell myself like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
Just be present.
Yeah.
Just be here and rest in that, and they'll edit out all the stupid things.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, probably
That you guys are
not.
gonna do.
No,
we don't.
Okay, great.
We'll probably actually, Tim does really good impressions, so he's going to say
we'll
a
just do
few
20
more
minutes of
real
that.
dumb
Yeah.
guitar
Filler.
things.
That's good. Perfect. Love it.
So this one time, that'll do.
My favorite Micah Tyler joke,
Oh gosh.
he would get up on stage and talk about his hometown,
Of Buna? Yeah.
Texas, where you can shop in one of two of their dollar stores.
That's right.
And oh my God.
I've added to that joke. I said, you
Have
put
you?
it together, it's like 1/17 of a Walmart. $2 stores. So, yeah. We're still not a city. It's an now my favorite joke from the Phil Wickham tour that we did. I had two. One was at the very beginning. I got up there and I said, "Hey everybody, I'm so glad you guys are here," because we did a little thing together. The three of us got there and sang. They left. And I was like, yeah, we're just so excited that you're here. We really hope that you feel welcome. Welcome. I'm glad you're here.
Yeah.
That was one. And the other one was one, I wrote a joke for Phil. It was called the Children. Do you remember this? It's called the Children of God Tour. And I said, Phil, you realize that if you get there and tell jokes, like you've completed the whole game.
Yeah.
Like that's all
that's
that's
right.
left.
Yeah.
You're handsome. You're a
Right.
great singer,
Right.
incredible songwriter, amazing words leader. And he's funny too. Like that's, I was like, I'm going to write you a couple jokes. He goes, So I wrote this joke that I thought was really funny. And the joke was, I said, you just get up there, and he was like, y'all, this was so much fun. I loved it so much. man, we should like come back and do this in like 20 years. We can call it the Grandchildren of God Tour. Just a simple joke. Just, but like when Phil Wickham did that joke, everyone's going to lose their minds.
Of course.
If I do the joke, it's like whatever. But like Phil does, it's like whatever.
Yeah.
So me and Chris would join him at the end of the show. And I tell you, he goes, okay, I'll do it tonight. Great. So we get up there and he didn't do it. And I was like, oh my gosh. And then the next night, I was, you going to do the joke?
Yeah.
He goes, I'll go do it. He didn't do it.
Yeah.
And then the third night, we get there, he just goes, well, we're so glad that you guys came. Let's close out. And I was like, hey, Chris.
Oh my gosh.
This was so much fun. We should do this in like the next 20 years. Like, yeah, I think so too. We're like, Phil, what do you think? He goes, yeah, we can call it the Grandchildren of God Tour. They all laughed and I just said, see, I told you.
Yeah,
my
man.
goodness.
I never got used again. I prompted him 3 more times. He never wanted to do it.
That was the last show.
That's the last show we did.
Micah Tyler, we've got 10,000 thoughts here. These are
Oh, I can't wait.
rapid fire.
Right.
So you just answer as fast as you possibly can.
Hit me with them.
Biggest fear.
Oh, not being loved. I mean, we did that for the last hour and a half.
Go.
Hate snakes.
Snakes. Not being loved by snakes.
Okay,
Got
so
it, Nick.
also,
Oh my
fun fact about me: a dirty napkin is the grossest thing in the world.
Ooh.
If you
Yes.
when I wipe my mouth with a napkin one time, I put it down. I can't touch it again.
Really?
It's a little OCD about it. But yeah, if it was on the table and you're talking to me, my eye's going to be on that napkin. I may have to like slide something out of the way. Some people just do this, and it's fine if they do. But if they hold a napkin in their hand the whole time, they're just talking, they're eating the whole time, and by the end of it, they've just got this. I mean, complete
my
malleable. Like they've almost turned it back into wood
I'm
from
like
just
a
like, the
lap
moisture in their hand, and like they've returned it back.
it back to wood.
That's where a point where I'm going like I'm through eating at this point. So that's not necessarily a fear as much as just a
Oh my gosh. I mean, one of my questions is going to be a pet peeve, so I guess.
oh, actually, I have a list of pet peeves.
Okay.
So a couple of years ago, radio stations kept asking me what my pet peeves were, and I couldn't never remember them on the spot, and so I started writing them down.
You're
and
doing
then,
this so well right now.
Yeah.
And then
I just want to affirm
Yeah.
you.
and then
Yeah.
I forgot.
You're nailing
I
this.
forgot that I did it. Oh, here it is. Yeah. I forgot
Is that
that
the
I
top of your list?
Well, no. I wrote
Well, he
one
made a
down the
couple
other day.
notes after he walked in and saw you.
I
He was
lost
like,
it. Yeah.
It's like the most recently edited note in his app.
No. It's because I touched it. So
Dirty napkins.
There's one.
Yeah.
No, pet peeves. Watered down dips.
Oh, okay.
The
yeah.
dip is like I can't get all the. If you try to get queso, it just falls off the chip. No, thank you. People who beatbox without using a microphone. Like when I see a YouTube video,
wait.
It's the shape of their mouth throws me off. I don't like it at all. I love to
many
listen to
people?
beatboxers, like really good ones, but it makes me their mouth shapes really get to me.
I would like to see that in slow mo.
Yeah.
Going under an overpass with an 18-wheeler. I hunch my shoulders like we're both gonna hit the top of the thing.
Yep.
The turn off your engine as soon as you come to a stop feature that no one wants in their cars.
Oh, I hate that.
Where like
too.
the A thing, you gotta push the A button. I hate that. People who call professional athletes by their first names at a sports bar. Come on, Chad. I don't like that. You don't know him.
Yeah.
That's his Christian name. Don't do that to him. I don't like when people do that.
Oh, so sad.
Not remembering what I was gonna say. If I was like, I can't remember.
That's
what I was
why
gonna
you
say.
wrote this list.
That's right.
That's literally why it's on the list.
Oh,
and
wow.
then having to repeat a joke to someone that didn't hear it the first time in a group of people. So you said something, 4 people laugh.
Great bit.
The 5th person goes, "What did he say?"
Yeah.
And you look right at me, and then I got to repeat it in front of the other people. It's not as funny to them. They've heard it already, so it's just that's a.
You just need to look him dead in the eye and say no.
I've tried, but also I want to serve so bad.
I'm practicing rest.
No, I actually made a pet peeve list because I forget my pet peeves, so I wrote them down.
What'd you say?
I forget my pet peeves. That's no joke. That's real.
Sorry.
Okay, it wasn't a joke. That's real.
How about your pet peeves list? Do you have any list of pet peeves that you have on your phone? That is insane.
At the top of
I'm a very positive person, and so when you call on me to tell you something negative, I gotta dig deep, and I usually can't find it.
Okay, favorite movie quote.
Oh, golly, this is not going to be good for me. Rapid fire.
We need to bleep anything?
No,
We had to bleep Jason Gray. He wanted to get bleeped.
he
Oh,
wanted
yeah, I heard
to. Yeah,
that.
of all the people.
You know what? I don't know. Oh gosh, guys, I'm so sorry.
Uh-oh, failure.
Oh, I like you a little less now,
Yeah.
Micah.
My word. Yeah.
I'm over here like just
I
dying.
love you
Leave him
so
alone,
much.
guys. He's resting.
There we go.
Okay, back to your biggest fear.
Not being able to put with movie quote when asked to.
Oh man.
Current song on repeat, other than any of Chris and
My
I's
own
songs.
songs. Oh, Chris Cleveland. Yeah, sure. You know what? There's a couple right. I found myself I realized the other day what my favorite genre of music is.
Oh my gosh.
And it's breakup songs. Any sad breakup songs.
All right.
So I found this playlist on Apple Music, and it's nothing but like everything from like Louis Capaldi to Bonnie Raitt, and it's just I just get in my emotions. That is the most emotional. So it got into a conversation with a band the other day about like, hey, let's just list all the things that make us emotional. And so Damien Rice, like all these just really emotional.
We
songs.
listened to Damien Rice this weekend.
Damien
I
Rice's
love
O record is the reason why I do music right now.
Oh my gosh.
That's my favorite album of all time. That was what made me want to pick up an acoustic guitar. That and the Psalms record by Shane and Shane. Was that your next question?
Yes. What's your favorite Psalms record? Go-to snack or drink?
Okay.
Or either. Do you have a
sparkling
list?
water. Waterloo. I don't. I have this on recall. Waterloo sparkling water is my favorite sparkling water. Just the regular, the blue can, like no flavor.
Now, everybody, he's got a little issue. So I tried the Kirkland water because it was
good.
cheaper.
It was fine.
And his first question wasn't like, does it taste like crap?
I asked you, what are the bubbles per capita?
Yeah.
I want to burn just a little bit. And then snack, there's these pistachios that are like this like hot chili they're just full flavored.
Yeah.
Like it's almost too much, which is my favorite.
Yeah, Jesus eats those. Faux show. Bucket list.
I wanna there's bucket list shows, like I want to play Red Rocks and those that would be a really cool thing. I want to skydive at some point. That'll be fun. Yeah, I don't know. I'm really excited about seeing my kids as grown-ups. It's not like a bucket list, but I think about it a lot. I think about like what my kids are going to be. I was explaining to you, all my kids have very different personalities. And so I'm just really excited to see what kind of like grown-up human beings they're going to be. And so like that's something I'm really looking forward to.
Whew. Bad habit?
I bounced my leg. I'm bouncing it right now. It's because I'm just kind of a nervous person. Yeah, that's a bad habit. And then overthinking things. I'm pretty good at thinking and then overthinking after that.
Best word of advice?
Something that I told you this earlier. The only day that we can do anything about is today. And I get real caught up about tomorrow. And the Bible says that tomorrow has enough worries of its own. But it also has its own joys. It has its own gifts. It has its own, like, all those good things, mercies, all those good things. We cannot do anything to uphold the past just because the past was there already. Like, we can repeat it now. We can do whatever we want to. Today's the only day that I can make any kind of impact on, the only day I can be faithful to. And so I tell that to young musicians. It's like, hey, be faithful to what's in front of you. If you're leading worship for a youth group of 8 kids, that's what the Lord gave you. Praise God. He gave you something to do, to be faithful to. I drove a sausage delivery truck. We lived in a mobile home for 9 years. I was a youth pastor for 10 years before that. It's just like whatever the Lord calls you to do, like be faithful to that thing to the absolute best of your ability. And then rejoice and be glad that he gave you something to be faithful to.
Love that.
That work?
What's another piece of advice that you have?
Like a little better piece.
My last question before, and you got to go get to the bus. What is the next item that you're going to get from Wish.com that you think? Are there any items out there right now it's in China?
Well, now
stuck on a ship outside of.
Yeah, I'm about to say, I have no idea what's on its way already.
Right.
I may have ordered something a year and a half ago that's kind of like this. I'll hear, and the boat pulls up and hands me a fresh new pair. Now I want to go and just see what kind of shoes I can find. I feel like that's the next thing that I need to go do. I did buy a bunch of fake money.
Yeah, you told me that.
Because I thought it would be really funny to just hand it to the kids every once in a while for doing something. Like, here's $500. And then just like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
But then we also use it to like, it's funny to like use it to gamble with at our house. Because we play like Candyland. But it's like, I put $5, I'll get a pink on this one. It's not, we're not really gambling. It's fake money. But so I won't buy any more of that because I've already got enough of that. So price shoes. Wish.com. Plug to Wish.com if you're looking for a sponsor. I'll put it on my jersey.
Totally.
Let's go.
Hey, can I say something?
Yeah.
Thank you guys for doing this podcast. I am a person who listens as a person who's on the road a lot. I listen to it. And it's fun for me because, Moy, I don't know you, but I feel like I do from listening to this thing. But I've known these two guys for a little while, you from 5 years ago, and I'm proud of what you guys do. And you are pointing people back towards, I think, health in just knowing who Jesus is and that being enough. And it's a really important thing. I think that the whole 10,000 minute idea is so... It's not just a great idea for a podcast. I think that it is so important that like you guys are offering tools and help to people who maybe, because it's not like no one's just sitting at their kitchen table just listening to a podcast. They're mowing their grass right now, or they are in the gym right now, or they're on a road trip, or they will be on a bus at some point listening to podcasts and stuff. And you guys have been able to find me and meet me with the gospel in places where I just needed to hear it. So I just wanted to say thanks for letting me come on today, but also thanks for continuing to do what you do and pointing people back towards using the 10,000 minutes wisely.
Thanks, dude.
Thank you.
Anything else you like about me?
I like those glasses.
Yeah, we're gonna stop it.